All right, for those of you who are unaware, you don't need to lift weights every single day to build muscle. You can get away with lifting 2 to 3 times a week and still make a ton of progress. Especially if you're new to lifting, you're still getting those new gains, you can make a ton of gains just by lifting 2 to 3 times a week. Now don't get me wrong, if your sole goal in life is to pack on as much muscle as humanly possible, then sure, lift 6 days a week, run an advanced split where you're working, different muscle groups on different days. Obviously, if you're lifting 6 days a week, they're not full body workouts. At that point, you're running a split like that, every day is you're focusing on different muscle groups. Now the advantage to that approach, the 6 day a week, is because each workout is more specialized on certain muscle groups, you can push them that much harder, which is really the advantage here. If I'm going to the gym and I'm only hitting chest and arms, I can hit those really freaking hard. And then, the next day I don't have to, I'm not hitting those same muscle groups. Maybe I'm hitting legs, and then you can hit, if you have just a dedicated leg day, you can hit legs super hard. You don't have to worry about, destroying your central nervous system and not being able to hit the other movements because you're only hitting legs that day. So yeah, there's advantages to doing the whole 6 day a week push-pull leg split. Again, if your goal in life is to put on as much muscle as possible and your schedule allows for it, sure, that's probably optimal. But if you're like me, maybe you've got a crazy work schedule, you've got a commute, maybe you've got other activities you want to do on certain days, maybe you've got relationships, whatever, you don't want to be in the gym every single day, or just not realistic in your current circumstances, you can get away with just lifting 2 to 3 times a week. Now, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna wanna do full body. So when you go to the gym, let's say you're only lifting 2 to 3 times a week. Each time you go to the gym, you're gonna wanna kill as many birds with one stone as you can. An example, like with me, and this is where you gotta run experiments on yourself, learn what works for your body. If I'm doing bench press, I'm doing 5 sets of bench press, I'm going hard. I don't just count that as a chest movement. I count that as a front delt movement, and I count it as a tricep movement, because all those muscles are getting worked, not just the chest. So maybe on that day I went super hard on the bench press, I don't have to do direct tricep work. Because part of the reason you're doing this, full body routine, where you only have to lift, 2 to 3 times a week, part of it is you're trying to cut down on days in the gym, but also you're probably just trying to cut down on time in the gym in general. So start to think pragmatically, like how many birds can I kill with one stone? If I'm doing weighted chin-ups, I'm not just working my back, I'm working my biceps too. Maybe I don't have to do bicep curls that day. This is how you have to start thinking, like, what's the most bang for my buck I can get with every single movement? Now, if you are doing the full body routine, I do think you should still lift 3 times a week. You can get away with 2, but I think 3 is better, just me personally. You can get away with 2, especially if your genetics are good. You can get away doing a full body routine twice a week, and you'd still make great progress. But even though I'm a minimalist, I still like to get into the gym and lift 3 times a week. But again, this is the advantage to this approach. Maybe you're not building as much muscle as you could, but you are freeing up a lot of days where you don't have to go to the gym, and that creates opportunities for you to do other things with your free time. So it all comes down to priorities here. But it's also a message to people who haven't even started lifting and think that, I can't go to the gym 6 days a week. You don't have to. Now, me personally, I do cardio every day, but I don't have to go to the gym to do cardio. I made this genius investment. I bought this thing called a jump rope, super cheap. I can do cardio every single day at home without going to the gym. I only have to go to the gym when I need to lift weights, which again is only 3 times a week. You know, I might lift Tuesday, full body workout, take Wednesday off. Thursday, full body workout, take Friday off. Saturday, full body workout, take Sunday, Monday off. I'm getting 4 freaking rest days where I can do whatever the hell I want, you know, when I'm not at work. And you know, the crazy thing is, I only lift, like when I do those, like, yeah, 3 days a week lifting, those workouts are only like an hour long. Again, I'm very pragmatic. I don't do more than I have to. Now, don't get me wrong, the movements I do choose in each of those workouts, I make sure I'm going hard. You better be pushing it. If you're not gonna be in the gym all the time, like, yeah, when you do work out, you should push it, you know? Maybe bring some of your sets to failure, like actually go for it. Apply the concept of progressive overload. So, you know, each week, either try to add weight to the bar or try to add reps. You should be pushing it. You should be progressing. And that's the beauty, is like, if you're doing that, you're actually going for it, you don't have to be in the gym every day. You will make progress. So yeah, it'll be like sometimes my workouts are only like 45 minutes long. Like, now again, some of this is genetics. Like, I might go to the gym, I might hit squats, ass to grass, so I'm counting that for quads and I'm counting it for my glutes. So you might say, oh, the squats don't hit your glutes that much. Well, I feel it in my ass, so I count it as a glute exercise. Deal with it, okay? Maybe I hit some hamstring curls because I don't want to completely neglect my hamstrings. Not deadlifting right now. I don't think you have to deadlift, but whatever. I mean, it's up to you. I'll probably start deadlifting at some point when I decide I want to, you know, hit certain goals in that area. Again, something like bench pressing. I'm counting that not just for my chest, I'm counting it for my front delts, I'm counting it for my triceps. So there's been a lot of workouts where I don't even hit tricep pull downs or tricep extensions. I don't even bother. I still get great arm development. Now, one thing I could do more of is like side lateral work for my side delts. That's actually something I've been lazy about. I could implement that more. But like, for example, let's say my rear delts. Like if I'm doing heavy rows, like that's hitting my rear delts. I don't care what anyone says. It's hitting your rear delts. I don't need to do direct rear delt work. Now, could I yield even more if I really wanted to squeeze out every gram of muscle I could possibly gain? Yeah, I would do some rear delt work directly. But again, pragmatic. Kill as many birds with one stone as you can, okay? A row is not just working your back. It's also working your biceps. It's also working your rear delts. So yeah. Yeah, especially if you're new to lifting, you can totally get away with just lifting full body 3 times a week. You don't have to be in the gym every single day. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're a freaking teenager, you're in high school, why not? Lift 6 days a week. You have the time. You don't have to worry about, you know, managing your schedule as much, whatever. But, you know, when you're an adult, you got a lot of different responsibilities. You've got a busy career. You got relationships. You got all the other shit going on. You can approach it very pragmatically, very minimalist, and still make a ton of progress. Anyways, I think I've said it all.